character that you...
yeah.
There's another zombie woman that gets put up to a wall, and I think a light brightens up her face, and it looks like it's like being lit like a jack-o'-lantern type style. Like, I don't know how they did. Like, all the money went to this. Like, all these actors must have been paid $5 each.
Well, they weren't paid much, but I think on top of it, it's one of the things is that they got all of the young talent in New Zealand, which means you basically get these people for peanuts because they're just doing it for the exposure and the chance to do it.
Well, I think the actor that plays Lionel, this is his first movie ever.
It is, yeah.
And that's pretty good, because he's pretty decent.
He is actually really good and really convincing, so, you know. And again, I think that's the whole thing where, like, it's just an opportunity to work on a big-budget film. For them, it was a big budget.
This movie's shot weird. There's a lot of close-up scenes.
Yeah.
Well, it's got this weird filter to it.
In all fairness, that's how Peter Jackson filmed.
Yeah. Meet the Feebles and Heavenly Creatures and Bad Taste all kind of look like that.
And not just that. Frighteners, too.
Yeah.
Like, all
Frighteners
these movies...
has this tint to it, too.
All these movies have this weird tint to it that is kind of his style. He clearly got out of it.
Yeah.
For those Rings pictures. But yeah, like, that was kind of his style, and that was kind of his thing. I don't know how the hell he got Lord of the Rings. I don't know who the hell he convinced.
This is what I was trying to allude to last week. We're just like, how... Because we were going to like, oh, this is directed by... You wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
You go, because now we're rewatching this movie and like thinking about Bad Taste and Meet the Feebles and Heavenly Creatures and all his early work, even Frighteners to an extent.
Frighteners was the closest thing he had to a real, quote-unquote, real movie.
Because he had, like, actors in it, you know what I mean?
I mean,
although
Heavenly Creatures had as well, but, like, at no point are you looking at any of these flicks and going, that's the Lord of the Rings guy.
Like, if you're New Line Cinema... And you're looking at directors for your upcoming, what would be multi-million-dollar, Oscar award-winning franchise of movies, your trilogy.
$1 billion.
Billion, at this point, $1 billion. You look at the guy who made Braindead.
Here's the thing. The only way I can have that, and we know a little bit about New Line Cinema if you've listened to this show before when we did our entire whole thing on Nightmare on Elm Street. Bob Shaye was still in charge at that point. He's not now, but he was then, so this is kind of what he does. He gives up-and-coming directors a chance. If I were him, would I have done that for my Rings pictures? No. Because
turned out all right, though.
Turned out fine, yes. But, I mean, like, this is the biggest thing New Line's ever done, and I understand by this point New Line was a huge major player, but this was...
It was a gamble.
This was a massive gamble to give it to this guy. Good on him, because apparently he did great.
Hey, those movies made a lot of money, and that last picture, that last out of that trilogy, won a ton of Oscars. Yeah. So,
I mean, it worked out well, and I guess aside from Bob just being Bob, I don't see how you go from this to that, but you never know.
But this won't be the only Pete Jackson movie we talk about. I assure you of that. We will be probably getting to most of his work, work on this show, because that's his early work is right up this show's alley. You better believe I'm talking about fucking Meet the Feebles, because I love that movie. And The Frighteners is my favorite Michael J. Fox movie of all time. So, there you go. And my favorite Peter Jackson movie of all time. But this movie, we will rate it. Yes. I'm going with 9 rat monkeys out of 10. The practical effects in this movie... As over-the-top and as comical and gross as they are. Holy fuck, man. Yeah. It's some of the best practical work I've ever seen in a movie. Yeah. And again, this is what he's known for. Again, you watch Meet the Feebles, you watch Sped. You know, he clearly loves practical effects, which is hilarious considering where he went. Yeah. But yeah, I absolutely love this movie. This movie's right up my alley. It's schlocky. It's cheesy. It's played for laughs. They're not taking themselves too seriously. No. And I hate movies that take themselves too seriously. Because they know what they make. Peter Jackson knows what he's making. Yeah. He's making an over-the-top zombie comedy with tons of gore and tons of practical effects. Yeah, like he was a fan that got to make a movie, and that's what that was. And it's a shame this movie's not known more, to be fair. I'm going to give it actually 10 lovely custards out of 10, just because this is where I live. Yeah. You know, like, we're both big fans of weird, outlandish shit. But when you throw horror onto it, it's my fucking wheelhouse. Yeah. It's no secret I'm an obsessive horror fan.
blood and guts, all that kind of shit. That's where I live, basically. And
there are literal buckets of it.
Yeah, and you add the fucking weird out there shit to it. It's everything I love in this world. So yeah, I mean, for most of the reasons you said, like the practical effects, like I said, I'm not saying this with any hyperbole. It is second only to John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yeah.
And even then, you could make an argument that this might be better.
That's saying something. It is. Because this movie, compared to The Thing in popularity,
is non-existent, but the effect work on this, the practical effects in this movie, and the creative creature designs are ridiculous. And I love the fact that also the Rat Monkey, for no reason, was stop-motion animation. And I love stop-motion shit. I love that kind of stuff. So you throw that in there, and it's like, holy shit, here's like every bit of effects you can possibly do. And rolled into one movie.
This movie is hard to find on DVD and Blu-ray now, so it's virtually out of print, so I have no problem saying this movie is on YouTube.
Yeah, go watch it any way you can. You need to see it, because again, our descriptions fucking pale in comparison to how good this stuff is.
As far as MVPs are concerned, I'm going with Zombie Baby.
Okay.
That the fucking image, it's not even the image of it fighting with people, it's the image of when it's on its 2 feet, and it's just running, and you can clearly see it's just like a little person in a costume.
But it was a child, we found out. I thought it was a little person, but it was the 2-year-old girl.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
The noises this thing makes, like Salacious Crumb.
Yeah.
The fucking comedy that comes out of it, like him trying to, like, Paquita trying to food process it, and then it, like, jumping onto the roof and just...
She is successful in, we forgot to mention, she is successful in food processing a lot of fucking zombie parts.
Yep. Yeah, there's a whole scene where she's just, like, just throwing them in.
Yeah.
It starts with that head that they kick around like a soccer ball. But yeah, the Zombie Baby is hilarious.
For me, I'm giving it to the priest for one line and one line only.
It is a shame we don't get more of him.
It is really a shame. He died way too quickly for my taste. Because I would have liked a few more scenes with weirdness of him trying to figure out how to deal with it.
Like him in the house.
Yeah. Just being like,
you could have made that
Father, here's what I'm dealing with, and he fucking tries to help in some way.
You could have whatever other character have sex with the nurse. You can have another gang member, like Void.
Void do it.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? But
it would have made more sense.
It really would have.
Like, why did the priest get all horned up after he's a zombie?
The priest has not had sex in forever and a day. But no, I love this priest, and it always reminds me of when I first started watching this movie, and I do mean started, because there was a somewhat former mutual friend of ours that I watched this movie with the first time. And when I say we watched it a bunch of times, we really did, because we were just enamored with it. And our favorite line was, "I kick ass for the Lord," because it comes so fucking out of nowhere. Because he's just a priest, and he just walks out like, I'm just like, what the fuck is going on here? Or he doesn't say fuck, but he's like, what is going on here? And then he just like, he sees the shit and just starts, and just fucking hauls off and punches it. And this line comes out of nowhere, and it's like, oh, he's a ninja now.
Also, it's preceded by a actually well-shot, well-choreographed kung fu fight with a priest versus zombies in a zombie movie made by New Zealand.
Exactly. Like, it's just like, oh, we're playing Mad Libs today, and this is what came out of it.
New Zealand kung fu zombie fight.
And it's not like and it's not like the priest doesn't have great moments too. Aside from that, like, he is an entertaining character when he shows up.
Yeah.
Like all the stuff
like him
with
getting
Lionel,
perturbed.
Yeah, and his speech was great.
Yeah.
So I love that guy. He is so awesome.
Again, if you haven't seen this movie, because I'm assuming most of you haven't.
Yeah, you really need to.
Please do. It's Dead Alive, Braindead. You know, you'll get it. You'll get it if you type it into the search engine.
Yeah.
The Schlockfest continues as we go back to the 80s.
Yes.
And here's another. It's practical.
Yes, it is practical. What am I saying?
It is practical.
There is some animation, but it's still practical.
Because we go way back to June 14, 1985.
And if you think you've never seen Dead Alive,
yep,
you've never seen this.
June 14, 1985 for The Stuff. The Larry Cohen...
I can almost hear everyone going, huh?
The Larry Cohen classic.
Yeah.
The Stuff. Because you can't get enough of The Stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, think The Blob, but a delicious marshmallowy substance.
Yeah, in all of its 80s consumerism.
Oh, it is, yeah. Larry Cohen was making a tongue-in-cheek...
He was making a statement.
Statement with this movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, our Schlockfest continues with the stuff next week. Mm-hmm. But we're going to get out of here for this week. You were Steve.
You were Justin.
And we're way back and gone.
I haven't had custard in a while.